Bonjour! My name is Abomination. Welcome, back to the BHDL. Season 6. This is my team review video. Pokemon Legends ZA just came out, so if you're watching this instead of playing that, well, thanks. Or you just don't have the game. I'm just going to talk about the individual guys here, starting from the most expensive to the least expensive. My most expensive and my round 1 pick was Blastoise. Listen, Blastoise is my second least favorite member of the team this season. I like Blastoise just fine. It's okay. I definitely overpaid for the type of Blastoise that I like to use. I like to use it as Rapid Spinner. It's 16 points because it has access to Shell Smash. It does not get that much coverage. It gets an okay coverage, and it is a mixed attacker. But both of its offensive stats are not that great. They're not bad, but they're not that great for a Shell Smasher. So I didn't even run Shell Smash that much. So I definitely overpaid, and that's why it's my second least favorite member of this team. Uxie, I have drafted many times before. I love Uxie. I drafted a lot. It's probably my favorite Psychic type in draft. Because it's so fast, it can try to avoid getting hit with Knockoff and U-Turn as much. And because it's so fast, it can use Encore very nicely. It's Thunder Wave and Stealth Rock. It is very good utility. It's extremely bulky. It cannot be killed in one shot. In normal circumstances. It got killed in one shot in the semifinals, but, we just ignore that. It pretty much can't be killed in without setting up. You can't take it out in one shot. So, I already know I like it, so it's one of my favorite members of the team. I really enjoyed it. Moltres is next. I also have used Moltres many times in the past. Okay, so, I should say, for both Blastoise and Uxie, I will draft them again. Blastoise is only here, by the way, I want to say this about Blastoise. It's only here because it has Rapid Spin. If it didn't have Rapid Spin, I would easily have chosen Feraligatr instead of it. I think Feraligatr is way better than Blastoise. They both can set up, and although Shell Smash is better than Dragon Dance, Dragon Dance... Feraligatr, I feel like, is better than Blastoise. It can actually make use of its Dragon Dance, and Mirror Herb is not that good against Feraligatr since its defense is really high. But if it wasn't for Rapid Spin, absolutely that would have been Feraligatr. Anyway, Moltres. I ran offensive every single time I brought Moltres. It was offensive. I'm not against defensive Moltres. It's a lot of rock coverage all around, but doesn't matter. As offensive, I really enjoyed it this season. I don't think it really missed that many of its attacks. It didn't really fail me that much. It hit a lot. Most of the time it was inaccurate. The only time that it kind of let me down was when I was the one that was a fool, and that was in week 3 when I decided Air Slash an incoming Alomomola, even though it should have been obvious that it was incoming, and I should have used Hurricane. But no, I used Air Slash, and then I tried to Air Slash it again and got killed by a Mirror Coat. That was my fault, not Moltres. So I always enjoy Moltres. I would easily draft it again. Diancie is 13 points. Again, this is kind of a staple. If I have my weakness chart under control, and I see Diancie is available, I will probably take it. I once had this as a Terra Captain. When it was a Terra Captain, it dominated the league. It was the kill leader by far. It crushed everything. It was, as a Terra Captain, it's crazy powerful. Without a Terra Captain, though, I really enjoyed it in this team still, because it's times 4 weakness in steel. It doesn't really matter since it's the only steel weakness on my entire team, and I have plenty of resistances. It didn't excel too much in this league, in this season, I should say. She didn't do astronomically, but you know what? She did good enough. There was that game, week 8, when I chose to Rock Polish. She could have won me the game there if I just F-powered. She won me the game in week 2, which she crushed Luxray and Zeus, and, Luxray was going crazy. After that, it went crazy. It went crazy week 1. Didn't do anything to me in week 2, and then went crazy. So Diancie stopped it. Electros, 9 points. There's really no complaints about Electros. I've heard it said in this league already, it is the draft Pokemon. It's got Super Fang and Knockoff and Pivoting, and it has no weaknesses. And it provides resistances to 2 of the things that teams are most likely to be weak against, which are Flying and Ground. Those 2 weaknesses are common weaknesses on teams overall, and Electros resisting both of them is great. I liked his performance in this league. He could have been a little bulkier, I think. That's kind of the thing I don't like about it. It's bulky because it has no weaknesses. But it doesn't really resist that much, and it could be a little bit bulkier for my taste, but it's bulky enough. You can't really take it out in one shot without setting up again. So it's good enough, and I will easily draft it again. Obviously, I will draft Diancie again as well, as I have many times already. All these guys so far I have drafted before. Hitmonchan I have not drafted before, and I really liked it this season. I was actually really impressed with it. It did great damage, it took hits that I wanted it to, and it did a phenomenal job at rapid spinning, or even just fearing rapid spin and preventing them from getting off. It's kind of a teeny little bit susceptible from being spin blocked, but not really. I mean, it's got Swords Dance and Knockoff, and usually that is enough to hit the thing that is trying to get in your way, especially because it's most likely going to be faster than bulky ghost types. Bulky ghost types are generally slower. It's probably going to outspeed them. I could taunt them to prevent the Will-O-Wisp. I really liked Hitmonchan this league. I will probably draft him again if I need a rapid spinner like that. And then we have my favorite member of the season is Duraludon. It was the kill leader, and it was at a very high survivability. And she had no deaths for quite some time. I think week 6 or something she died for the first time. I remember seeing that she had not died yet for a long time. And she was top 10 of the kill leaders. I think she got 12 or 13 kills overall. You can't really take it out in one hit again, except for on the special side, maybe, if I'm not investing. But I thought it was going to be a little bit... So the problem with Duraludon is that it's a steel type that does not resist fairy. It's a steel type that does not resist ice. And it also counts as both my dragon and my steel type. And those are 2 types you want on a draft board, and if you combine them, it's not as... I don't like doing that, but it doesn't matter. It didn't even affect me at all. It was perfect. She hit every Draco Meteor that she tried to fire off. She hit every Thunder Wave that she tried to fire off. She didn't miss a single attack. She didn't die in one hit anywhere. I don't think. I think every time she came to a game, she killed something. I think. Every time. Draco Meteor is just really hard to switch in. Base 125 or 120 special attack. Very strong. And also 85 speed. I could run Scarf. That's the perfect speed stat to run Scarf and outspeed everything. I only did it one time in week 9. But Eviolite is just kind of hard to get buff. And with the Eviolite, I was going to say this too, even though 50 base special defense with Eviolite, and if you invest in special defense, it can take special attacks. I brought it as a Inteleon check in the quarterfinals. My favorite member of the team, Duraludon. 9 points. We got 6 points. Persian. Terra Captain Persian. This is going to make someone happy. It's my least favorite member of this team. I wanted to try it because when we were drafting, I was under a little bit of pressure. I had a few expectations to draft a normal type, and even when no one says that, I also have that expectation. I felt like it was necessary, and I wanted to try Persian. I haven't tried Persian. I could have tried Chinchino again, but I just tried it, and as I said, a lot of the guys on my team I had drafted before, so I wanted at least something to take advantage of it being lower tiers. So I thought Persian was the thing to do that. However, it's just too frail for me. I don't play it right. Persian's better than how I showcased it. I still don't think it's great, but I don't think it's better than I showcased it. I don't think I clicked fake out one time in this season, and even when I got an attack off, like I tried to para-flinch a Pecharunt in week 1, I tried to take advantage of a Cobalion using Stealth Rocks in week 8. I tried to do a few things with Persian and try to catch my opponent off guard to hit them big and try to catch a status move that wouldn't hurt Persian directly. That's how I tried to play Persian, and it just didn't work out because, I tried to para-flinch the Pecharunt. It immediately ignored it and killed me in one hit with a Malignant Chain. I tried to Terra Blast Ground the Cobalion, predicting Stealth Rocks. It ignored it. I did like 45%, and then killed me instantly with Body Press in return. These are both Life Orb hits, by the way. It really didn't hurt that much, even with the Life Orb, and it did not take a hit at all. I'm pretty sure every time it was hit, it died. I don't think it took one hit. Which is just unfortunate. It's just not me. It's just not how I like to do it. At least Chinchino can take a hit, maybe, if it's not super effective, obviously. And also, Chinchino can secure KOs when attacking. But to be fair to Persian, it is 6 points in a low-tier league. But it was a Terra Captain, but it still wasn't good. Don't think it was good. My other Terra Captain was 5 points, and that was Jumpluff. I liked Jumpluff. It was necessary to take at the time because it was summer and Pokemon Masters just came out with summer sync pairs, and one of them has Jumpluff, and I had to do it. I just had to do it. Even if I thought it was bad, which I didn't, I had to do it. Anyway, Jumpluff. Terra Captain doesn't really affect it too much, but because it has a bad typing and Grass Flying, it was nice to kind of remove that. But because it was a Terra Captain, it was able to run away in week 1, obviously. I did not try to do that ever again. I probably should have tried to do that, because if it worked beautifully the first time, why not just try to do it again? But as of the support sets, as I started to get more comfortable with bringing Jumpluff, I started bringing support sets, and I started liking it. It didn't do any damage directly. I missed a Leech Seed in the quarterfinals. I did a huge Leech Seed, and I didn't bring Strength Sap. That would have been really good. But I did Encore, Cramorant, and stuff, so Jumpluff, I did like Jumpluff. However, compared to other Terra Captains that teams had, especially looking at the playoff contenders, we had Terra Mach, devastating Terra Captain, Terra Exeggutor, and Terra Luxray. Both of those clearly are devastating, as our champion has shown. We had Cacturn as a Terra Captain. Cryogonal it has to be a Terra Captain in order to do anything. Cacturn was proved itself in this league. There was a Zebstrika out there as a Terra Captain. Very potentially devastating. There were just better Terra Captains. More offensive ones, I should say. Persian was my offensive Terra Captain, and Persian doesn't do any damage, even with Life Orb and its super effective stab, Terra Blast. So there's that. But, so Terra Captains were a little bit on the lower side on my team. I know when I was drafting, I noticed everyone was taking the Terra Captains. I'm pretty sure I put it off for one round, and I kind of regretted it because everyone was taking Terra Captains. So by the time I picked mine, I didn't love mine, and at the time I needed something fast as well. So Persian was it was perfect. It was a normal type, fast, and it was a Terra Captain. It's kind of forced into taking it a little bit. Not that bad though. Whiscash, 4-point Whiscash is perfectly fine. I think maybe Tad, maybe it could be 3 points. Teeny bit overpriced, but not really. I mean, 4 points is good. It's got Dragon Dance and both the hazard sets and Spark. Using it was fine. I enjoyed using Whiscash. There's not too much to say on it because I didn't bring it too much, but I brought it enough. In week 9, I almost got a sweep with it if I just clicked Dragon Dance one more time in front of Gyarados. Although, last I checked, Gyarados has Power Whip. Like in Sword and Shield, I think it is Power Whip. I assume it still has it, but I'd have to double check that. But anyway, doesn't matter. And I brought it to block Captain Beanard's Jolteon, and I brought it to block Fornabill's Regieleki. That's correct. So blocking the electric types, I needed a ground type on the team, obviously. So it served its purpose with getting in the way. Would I draft it again? Maybe. If I see that opportunity. If I see it. I mean, I was dual water types, but whatever. I could draft it again. Which, by the way, Persian, I probably won't draft again. Even as a Terra Captain, I don't think it's that good. And Jumpluff, I will. I would easily draft Jumpluff again. I really enjoyed using her. And then finally, my last member of the team, Swalot. I have drafted Swalot many times in the past. I think it's really good. Muck in this league was double its points. I don't think Muck is twice as good as Swalot, if I'm being honest. I mean, obviously they're comparable, but I don't think Muck is that much better. I think I would take Swalot for 5 points as well. Maybe 6 even, but no, probably not 6, but I think I would take Swalot for 5, because listen, Muck has to be physical, Swalot can be mixed, so plus the Swalot. They both get knockoff. They both obviously get Toxic Spikes and can absorb them. Muck does have better abilities because it has Poison Touch, which is great, but Swalot's abilities aren't even bad. We got Gluttony, fantastic. Sticky Hold is fantastic, and Liquid Ooze is niche, but it's still there. Swalot can also learn Curse. They can both set up. Swalot also gets Stockpile, and it gets Stuff Cheeks, which is Greedent's signature move. You eat the berry you're holding, and you get +2 defense. So it can heal 33% with its Wiki Berry and get +2 defense. I never tried doing that. I wanted to, but I didn't try it. Anyway, I think Swalot is easily worth 3 points. Easily. I enjoyed her this season. She learns Destiny Bond as well. I don't think Muck learns Destiny Bond. I enjoyed it this season and will absolutely draft it again. So basically, everything on my team I enjoyed enough, with the only 2 things I kind of didn't like. Persian, didn't like at all, and Blastoise, I thought was overpriced with how I used her. Unfortunately, 16 points. As a defensive Rapid Spinner, it's probably worth half of that. Maybe, because it doesn't even have good coverage. If it didn't have Shell Smash, I think it would lose half of its points. I think it would be like 8 points, if I'm being honest. But, you had to respect the Shell Smash. And my opponents did, but I think I only saw 2 Mirror Herbs all season. So there's that. But that's going to be it. That's everything I want to say. Just wanted to talk about them individually. So thank you for watching and listening. I'll be back with Season 7, whenever that is. And there's one more thing to add at the end of this video, which is not me talking, so it's just going to be visual. It's the locations of all my Easter eggs in my videos. So enjoy that, and I'll see you later. Smell you later.
Aha! We meet again!